One of my favorite quotes of all time is all progress leads to happiness. Dan Sullivan, strategic coach, always talks about how measuring backwards, measuring against ourselves is how we make progress. Because another great thought leader said, hey, comparison is the thief of all joy. And what I want to share today is a journey that I'm going to share what the two most common things that I hear on my over 4,000 strategy calls. And I'm going to help you self-identify where you're at. So stick with me for the next 30 minutes. And I'm going to walk you through a journey where when you hear a description, it should feel like I'm inside your head speaking directly to you, not to somebody else, but directly to you. When you feel that pull, that's exactly where you're at today. And that's perfect. That's how you know what the next step is. And there's only one path, right? There's two doors, but there's only one direction. And by the end of this, you're going to know exactly what path is the right path for you. So stay tuned, stick around, and let's dive in together. Let me ask you something before we dive in today. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right with money? You're working hard, you're saving what you can, you're paying your bills, you're being responsible, and you still feel like you're behind. Like no matter how much comes in, it never quite feels like enough. That feeling has a name. It's called being last in line for your money. And most high earning families, which everyone that's here is exactly that, are living there right now, not because they're doing something wrong, because nobody ever showed them there was a different way. And today, I want to show you something different. Not a product, not a pitch, a question. And the question is infinite banking actually for you? Because it's not for everyone. It works for specific types of people with specific problems that are done tolerating the common path. And in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you 4 types of people, and you're going to be able to identify which one is where you're at today. Because progress always starts with knowing exactly where you are today and being ready and willing to be uncomfortable and grow into that person that you see yourself as. So many of you here are already familiar with the infinite banking concept. And because knowing where you're at and which avatar you are is what's going to make the strategy work for your situation. It's like the example said, you have to know where you're going, where your destination is, what you're trying to accomplish. And if this is the first time you're hearing about it, if I have anybody new here, put an I in the chat. Perfect. You're able to find out if this is the thing that you've been looking for. Either way, listen for yourself today, not for your spouse, not for your neighbor, not for someone else, for you. Because one of these 4 is going to sound like I'm speaking inside your head, like I'm reading your mind. And when it does, that's your signal. And over the years, I've had over 4,000 strategy calls, and it's well over that number. And what I've learned is this: the people who actually build something with the infinite banking concept, they're not all the same. Different ages, different incomes, different starting points, different backgrounds, different locations. That's why it's always specially engineered. But they each have a reason, something that's bigger than themselves. And yes, it might be urgent in the moment, but they all have a specific problem that needed to be solved, a specific thing they were done tolerating. And when they found this concept, when they found the right fit, everything clicked into place. And I'm going to walk you through all 4 of these. And I want you to listen for yourself, not for your spouse, right? Not for your neighbor, not for your children, for you. Because again, one of these is going to sound exactly like your thoughts. And that's how you're going to know which one of these is your starting point. So our first one is they're not broke. They're not desperate. Done watching money leave their family every single month and never coming back. Credit cards at 24.5%, car loans, mortgages. They just feel like they're bleeding money. And they've done the math, even if it's only in their head. And they know the number is ugly. Hundreds of thousands of dollars gone to someone else's system. And what really gets them isn't the interest that they're losing on a weekly, monthly basis. It's that nobody told them that there was another way. And they followed the rules, pay the minimum, build the credit, have a high credit score, refinance when rates drop, and it still feels like they're running on a treadmill to nowhere. The liberator finds the infinite banking concept and has one reaction. Same one I had. Why didn't I know about this? Why didn't someone tell me sooner? The second most common thing I hear. Because when they realize this, the interest they've been sending out can be redirected back into their own system, back into their own family, and they don't have to work any harder. They don't have to get a side hustle. They just have to change one thing. Where does the money go first? And this avatar, the debt liberator, their driver is freedom, not financial freedom as a concept, real, specific, month by month freedom. From sending interest to institutions to other families, like we were doing, right? Having 9, 10 different debts going out to the family of Ford, family of Hyundai, water filtration system, debt consolidation, Macy's card, sending it out to other families that don't care whether you win or lose. Does that feel familiar? And if you've ever looked at your monthly, what's coming in and what's going out, and looked at that statement and felt something between frustration and fury, this might be you. And if you identify with this one, I want you to put liberator in the chat. You know, we're gonna go through all of these, but I want you to kind of listen, like which one feels most like where you're at today. And then our second one is already responsible, right? They're already doing a lot of things right. They might have life insurance, maybe a retirement account, a 401k, an IRA, have savings, that rainy day fund. Maybe they have some investments, but something's missing. And it's not a product. Again, it's a system, a framework, because they're not just thinking about retirement. They're thinking about what happens after. What do my kids learn from watching me? What does my family do when I'm not here to answer the questions? What does money mean if there's no direction behind it? This person has resources, but realizes that the resources without structure don't transfer, right? Instead of transferring, they lead to drift. Money gets spent. They lose their meaning. And this legacy-minded provider doesn't just want a policy. They want a family bank, a system their kids can borrow from, a system their grandkids can be written into, a system that carries the values, not just value, as in financial value. Their driver's responsibility. It's not fear, it's intentionality. They start looking for that next part, that next season of their life. They've already been providing, they've been protecting, they've been creating, and now they want to build something that provides long after they're gone, long after they're done providing. If you're enjoying this content, if you're getting something from this, you're learning and it's helping you make progress, and you think other people need to know about this, please share this by liking it, subscribing, and smashing the button, because every week we're here, we're sharing the most asked questions about the infinite banking concept and about money. It's kind of like the Seinfeld, where George learns that by doing everything the opposite of what his intuition tells him to do, he actually gets the girl, gets the money, and gets all of his dreams to come true. So share this with anyone who needs to know about it. Invite them to this channel, like it, smash it, and subscribe so we can spread this message. Let's get back to the 2-pass and see what your outcome is by the end of this. If you ever thought, I want my kids to understand money differently than I did, this might be you. And here's one that we talk to often. I just got a message about this right before. The strategic investor. Person's sharp, right? There's someone that already understands that money has to stay in motion to make them money. They understand that there's only 2 ways to earn money. It's either man or woman makes money or money makes money. And they know how to make money work for them. Real estate, business, private deals, they know how to find an opportunity. But here's the problem they keep running into. Capital gets tied up when an opportunity shows up. You know, money sitting in a 401k or a qualified plan that you can't touch without a penalty. Equity in a property, right? Real estate rich or cash flow poor. Money that they can't access without a loan approval process, without jumping through all the hoops. Savings sitting somewhere earning almost nothing, maybe even worse, sitting in a safe, earning absolutely nothing, actually becoming less and less valuable every day, while a deal sitting right in front of you. The strategic investor finds the infinite banking concept and realizes something. This isn't just a savings vehicle, it's a liquidity engine, right? It's a way to put my money somewhere where the money grows, where the money has access without asking permission, where the money keeps working inside the policy, even when it's deployed somewhere else, right? It's growing guaranteed here while it's being deployed and making a spread over here. For this person, the policy becomes the base of operations, the private reserve that they pull from when the deal is ready, the collateral that gives them leverage without a bank approval, the system that recaptures the interest they otherwise pay to an outside lender. How many investors here take hard money loans to do a deal? So you're reducing your spread because there wasn't an opportunity fund built first. So the driver of the strategic investor is opportunity, not recklessness. It's precision. It's understanding the and asset. They've been waiting for a tool that matches how they already think about money. And if you've ever lost a deal because your capital wasn't liquid, or you felt like your money was working harder for someone else than you, then this might be you. And the fourth one, right, there might be more, but these are the kind of four that I've identified so far after all the calls. The fourth one is one that it kind of hits close to home. This is how I felt. And I've sat across from a lot of people who come to their first strategy call and they feel like they're carrying something heavier than just a financial question. I talk about how there's two pains in life, right? The pain of regret or the pain of discipline. And these individuals often are carrying regret. I should have started 10 years ago. Wish I had started 20 years ago. I heard it this morning on a call. I wasted so much time, Jason. I don't know if there's enough runway left. And a lot of times they won't even speak up. Like I'm the one calling out, like, hey, I see you're in your 60s. Guess what? You're in the third quarter. Because they feel embarrassed. They feel like they've missed the train. They missed their opportunity. And so I want to say something directly to that person, the person that's thinking that right now. You are not too late. Just had someone go through at 75 years old. All right. I talk about whether you're 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, or 71, this plan can still work for you. I've seen grandparents build policies that our grandchildren will use to buy their first homes. The late starter legacy builder realizes something that most people never figure out. You don't have to be the one who benefits the most. You just have to be the one who starts. Think about that. If you had that long-term vision, because when you start a policy today, even if the cash value takes some time to build, it still comes with the guaranteed cherry on top from day one, the guaranteed death benefit, all right, for when we graduate, because that day is going to happen. And this means that your family is protected for the policies even fully funded. And here's the thing that I've seen with this person more than any other. They come in feeling behind and they leave feeling like a founder. They leave feeling renewed because they realize, hey, I'm not catching up to someone else's timeline. Remember, comparison is the thief of all joy. They started their family's system and now their driver is how can I spread this among my kids, my grandkids, my siblings? And their driver is redemption. And when they have the permission, they can leave shame at the door. All of a sudden, it becomes purpose, the chance to do something new that their family will feel for generations to come. If you ever thought, I just don't want my kids to start where I started, this is you. And after hearing these, I want you to take a moment and participate. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments below. Debt liberator, legacy-minded provider, strategic investor, late starter, legacy builder. I know it's a mouthful. That is my quarter three, quarter four, folks. Which one felt like the inside of your head? Which one felt like, wow, Jason is speaking directly to me? Drop it in the chat. I love that, Lee. All of them. But which one spoke the loudest? That's a great answer because I feel the same. It can be all of them. But where are you today? Late starter, legacy builder. Love that, Teresa. Anyone else? And this is for you, investor. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And here's what I want you to notice. Every single one of those is a different starting point, but they all lead to the same place. Control over your money, direction for your family, a system that works, that you control, that you have guarantees, instead of a system that works against you. The avatar, like Lee just said, it could be all of them. The avatar isn't just a category, it's a starting line. And that starting line is where I meet every single person I speak to that has that strategy call. We always want to start provider. I love it. Exactly where you are, not where you think you should be, where you actually are today. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, but all progress leads to happiness. And most of the time, progress isn't necessarily comfortable. And so now we have two doors. We only have one direction, one outcome. Both lead to the same place. The only question is, where are you starting from today? So if something clicked today, if you saw one of those yourself in one of those avatars and thought, that's me, and you haven't started or you don't have your strategy in place yet, this door is yours, right? This is where you can book a strategy call directly with me. And I'm going to meet you exactly where you're at today. Again, not where you think you should be, not where the internet says you should be, not where your spouse says you should be, where you actually are. And together, we're going to look at those patterns. We're going to look at the things that are either moving you closer to your goals or further away from your goals. And together, we're going to build a clear picture of where you want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and what it looks like for generations after you. And if you've had this call with me, you know I run every one of these calls. I'm not outsourcing this. I build every single vault analysis. I'm not handing this off. And I love this. Like, when's a better time than right now to get started? So scan the QR code, pick a time, and I'll see you on the call. And if you're not quite there yet, that's door number one, right? You're ready to start. If you're not quite there, door number two is maybe you need to talk to your spouse. Maybe the timing isn't right. Maybe you just need to take a moment and financially weigh in. Maybe you want to understand more before you commit, and that's okay. This is your door. This is the family financial reality check. It's 3 minutes. That's all it takes. Some people are way faster. It's 20 questions, 4 areas: control, liquidity, protection, and legacy. Again, it's a mirror, not a sales funnel. There's additional tools in here, but it's going to show you exactly where you and your family stand right now. Not where you hope you are, not where you assume you might be, where you actually stand. And this might be the most courageous thing you can do, because when you walk through door number one, you already know what you're building. When you're not quite there yet, hold up that mirror, scan the code, take 3 minutes, do the assessment tonight. 2 doors, again, one direction. Both are leading somewhere. And the only wrong move is walking out without choosing one. And this is in support of your journey. As we talked about, there's only one direction. Out of all my calls, we all want the same thing. We want either more money, more time, or more magic. Or we want all of those things, right? We want our cake and we want to eat it too. There is a path for that, and it requires changing one thing. Now, this isn't for everyone. And if you've identified with one of those 4 avatars and you picked a door, right? There's only 2 doors, so you got to pick a door. And you're either taking the 3-minute assessment to hold up that mirror to see exactly where you're at today, or you booked that strategy call, found a time on my calendar where we can come together and it's all customized to exactly where you're at today. My team will support you before you even get to the call. And there's no sales pitch at the end. There's no request. It's just to show you what's possible. And if it's a fit, great. We can help you start your process. And if it's not, that's okay too. But the only way you're going to know is either pick one of the 2 paths. So either take the 3-minute assessment, link is down below, or go ahead and schedule your strategy session. The link is also down below, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Remember, if you found this valuable today, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this channel. This needs to get out to more people. We're here every week sharing this concept, so I'll see all of you in the next video. Until then, be blessed. God bless.